Good morning, everyone.
Good
It's
morning.
Robert here, and as you can see, we have two special guests. I'll do the lady in red first. This is, of course, my wife, Beverly. This is Dance Flow Qigong Tai Chi Express. But more importantly, we have our wonderful guest today is Linda Wong. Yay! Linda, you have an amazing story, and we live in a seaside community here in Stony Creek, and one day Belly was walking, and why don't you share the story about how you met Linda?
Yeah, I mean, I just decided to go for a walk along the water here, and then I noticed this lady walking the other way. She was with a walker, full disclosure. And so, you know, as you do, you're just sort of walking and with your own thoughts and whatever. And of course, you're passing each other. But we just said hi and we stopped briefly. Yeah. And then that brief stop continued on to a much longer conversation. Yeah. And discovered, I mean, Linda's story is amazing.
It is,
I mean, incredible in terms of the difficulty in terms of, I'll just say very briefly, car accident, and then another accident that brought her to, you know, having to use the walker, and you know, she was using the walker obviously as exercise.
Talk through that.
Yeah.
So
but more importantly was the thing that how her thoughts of how the things that have happened to her take on that is amazing. And I think that what has made it that she has come to this point in her life that she's really recovered to this degree. So I think that's the miracle for me.
But what happened in your car accident?
It was a head-on car accident, and July the 1st, 2012.
Oh, wow.
And I don't remember very many events of that night, except maybe three things. You know, three different pieces of that accident.
Right.
I was taken to the hospital and operated right away. I shattered my ankle in 30 pieces. I broke my tibia and the fibula. I had this big cage, which is called the external fixator, around my leg for 3 months, so that the ankle would not move, but it would heal. So the healing, it looks like you have a tumbler and just a bunch of marbles falling in wherever. That's what it looks like now. But I had a plate put in there, plate put in the tibia fibula. It broke at the top, just underneath the knee, so I also damaged my knee. Wow. And so I was in a wheelchair for about 6 months, and then I slowly started taking some physio, you know, just very slowly getting ready. But I also fractured some vertebrae in my neck and my back as well. So I had a hard call around for 3 months in July, and I kept saying to the doctor, I'm healed now in the hospital. I'm well now.
Just an excuse to get out.
So I no, you still have some time to go. Like, I was in the hospital for a month and 3 months convalescent care, so I was away from my home for 4 months. And meanwhile, my husband had open heart surgery 2 days before my accident, and it was amazing surgery, but then I was in the same hospital as him. Exactly the same room number, same bed number, right up above him on floor. So it's kind of
it was like energy to energy, right? Exactly.
Prayers down to him. That's how I felt from me to him, right? We had a lot of prayer covering, which is excellent, because that also it helped. I believe that God heals, and he did. But the recovery part is extremely difficult. It took a lot. I'm still recovering. And then after the car accident, I did lose my husband 3 years later. But then in 2015, we had a car accident. Somebody went through the intersection. It was yellow, and they drove into us. So that was. That was like, no, I don't think this is happening, right?
Exactly. And that's the thing, you can't control what other people do.
No.
And how one moment in time affects our lives, right?
Yeah.
But you've taken it on a positive, I mean, this is actually the first time I'm meeting Linda, even though we chatted, maybe online. But you always come off as so, positive. But what is that makes you so positive?
I'll be honest with you, it's my faith in God. I really believe that God, like Jesus, is in me, and His Holy Spirit is in me, so He moves me, and He helps. He's my help and my strength, because Yeah, I lost my mom 6 months after my husband,
Yeah.
and then I lost my dad 8 months after that. So through in a year and a half, I lost.
Those are major
huge-
life events.
Yeah.
And if you don't have something like in Linda's case, it's faith, right?
Yes.
And whatever is your faith
Yes.
is really, really powerful. So
Yes.
that's something that has
Yes.
obviously, kept your mind focused, but
Mhm.
understanding maybe a bigger picture in life. That,
Because absolutely, like these things happen to everybody, but you have to keep moving forward. You
Yeah.
just have to, because if you
Yeah.
don't, you're going to get stuck.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will. I know.
Yeah.
I've met too many stuck people,
Yeah.
and it hurts to see that,
Yeah.
know. But we all have to try it. And then, then 2017, I fell. I was getting ready
Oh no!
and broke my femur.
Oh,
And it's just like, oh gosh, this is not happening.
I'm being
Another
tested,
bone.
but why? Why?
Yeah, I'm done testing. Right?
That was 3.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
was
it.
three
That's
things.
it.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what? I thought losing my husband
Yeah.
and my mom and dad, that was 3.
Yeah, oh, that's
So
true.
like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's like, okay, so I need to go around another mountain, I think, to learn something I didn't learn before, right? That's how I'm thinking. I must be needing.
But I think that's the difference, because sometimes if you channel negative energy, it actually brings you down.
It
But
does.
you found a way, and through your
Yeah.
humor too,
Yes,
and that's
so.
probably why we connect so much, because humor and joy
Yes.
and laughter, in spite of challenges,
Yes.
can lift us all.
Absolutely.
And that energy that hopefully you feel through the cameras
Yes,
that is recording live right now. But
Yes.
for those of you coming in later,
Yeah.
you'll still be there.
Yes.
But that can transmit out into everyone we meet, right?
Yes.
So that's really
Yes.
important.
Yeah, they
But-
say it affects, humor
Yeah,
is very
yeah,
important, right? Well,
yeah.
it affects all our endorphins, everything we do
Right,
affects the endorphins, right?
right.
And that's the huge thing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Our brain is a humongous and amazing miracle in
Yeah.
itself that does, work our bodies and,
And
our
that
mind.
was kind of the goal behind Dance Flow, in particular Dance Flow Express Online. We only started a number of months ago, but
Oh,
our key
wow.
thing was to reach out to people, students who may be going through true chronic pain, but also with that emotional pain,
Yes.
anxiety. Sometimes
Yes.
anxiety may be from stresses of life, but sometimes
Yes.
it's just from someone who suffers chronic pain. Oh, when is that next pulse that is going to be so painful that it will debilitate
you.
Yeah,
Yes. Or
yeah.
even bad, because I have experienced all of those things. I will not say I haven't.
Yeah,
I have experienced, anxiety. I've experienced, the fear of the pain,
Right.
because I've been dealing with this for so many years. Because it doesn't go away.
No,
You just
no.
have to learn to deal with it
Right,
differently.
right.
And that's where the exercise, the physio. Like I have
Yes.
people coming in for physio, for massage, for me.
Yeah.
I have people coming in every day
Right.
to help me overcoming this, to
Right.
teach me also ways that because I'm gonna have to live with this the rest of my life,
Yes,
right?
yes.
It's affected me
Yeah.
in incredible ways. I haven't been
Yeah.
driving for several years now,
Right, right.
and I can't wait for the day I can again.
Yeah.
My leg is 1 inch shorter now because of the accident,
wow.
and it took me a year before I could get insurance to pay for shoes to give
Oh,
me,
yeah, the extra.
the extra height.
Right,
So now
yeah.
my body is now the same.
Excellent.
On each side, it's the same length. Before though, it was shorter, so I had the scoliosis starting.
Uh-huh,
And then there again, you have more pain from my whole left side of my body.
Yeah.
It's forever
Yeah.
chewing at me and
Yeah.
burning me and creating pain for me.
Mhm.
And so now that I've got shoes that are the same height,
That's-
now I'm rebalancing. My
That's
brain is rebalancing.
Well, it's funny you
itself.
say that. Like, balance is key, and that's what we're going to
Yes.
be doing soon with Dance Flow, incorporating
Yes.
Qigong Tai Chi, but also dancing. And
Yes,
she just
yes.
shared with us that she loves to dance, and we'll talk
Yes.
a little bit about that
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
But balance, whether it's a physical balance that you're experiencing, or
Yes.
the balance of in our lives
Yes.
when
Yes.
one is in pain, to make sure we have this counter balance that is positive, that
Yes.
is fun,
Yes.
and also a support network. So definitely
Yes.
you have that with
Oh, yes.
your team of healthcare
Yes.
professionals
Yes.
and that,
Yes.
and that's so important. Sometimes people
Mhm.
want to isolate themselves, right?
Yes.
And so you found that within you.
Yes.
And of course, you're also, I would say, an extrovert. I think you make friends
Yeah.
very easily, which is great.
Yes, my teams, I started doing a yoga program, but in all honesty, I fell asleep.
Which is either good or bad, but as long as it's
told my
really good.
therapist,
Yeah.
I said, my physiotherapist, I can't do this because I'm not staying awake. And she
Yeah.
said, let's watch it. So we watched it, shows it's definitely too slow for you.
Yeah.
So we picked up a notch, right?
I'm glad you said that because part of our belief system, and also that's what we're testing with our programs, and of course with you today, we all have energy pulses that is true to ourselves. I do tend to have a higher pulse energy, and that tires her sometimes. But that's how we balance each other because she's very grounded.
Exactly.
So that's how we kind of have found
That's
that
right.
within us. But I think that's very true. Sometimes you have to find whatever matches your pulse. But once you find that, then it's the ability to use exercise, thought processes to be able then to manage the pulses. And then pain has a certain pulse. How we feel on a certain day has a certain pulse. But working and using, of course, we love to use music, movement, breath, and breathing. We can actually train ourselves to manipulate the pulses. And that's what I think our goal is with yourself, as well as you inspiring others, you know, to be able to manage pain in whatever form it takes.
Yes. Oh yeah, the breathing is, the breath is huge. Like I have a pain specialist from Alberta, and she works with me every week, and so she's, you know, she's incorporating all of those things into my daily program as well. You know, you need to take time out to do that breath focus and meditation.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a type of person who I want to start, and then I'm afraid if I don't stop, I won't start again. So I just keep going, but see, it's not good, especially when you have these humongous pain syndromes and pain activators and constantly, you know, at you, you know. She said you have to stop though, because you know, you'll stop and then you rest, your body rests, you know, give your brain the rest. The brain needs to, it can't be always energized because I've overstimulated my brain. And the pain is overstimulated my brain to react to pain. So we're working on changing my brain, rewiring that brain again, right? So it's taking time, but you know.
All right, we're gonna get started now.
Okay.
So Beverly's gonna go back to bed. No, she's not. No, we're
I'm gonna go watch them.
She's gonna watch us online, and then I'll get started now. And what I'm also gonna do is I'm gonna bring. I was sharing with Linda that on Dragon's Den we had the plant choir playing, which is an appliance and a device, and today it's connected to this plant. We call this Robert and Beverly because we got the plant ourselves. Usually we have gifts of plants, so instead of calling it or that plant, start to name the plants from the people who've given us as gifts. So I'm gonna just play it in the background, and part of the thing that we do with Dance Flow is, of course, to reset ourselves. So Linda's just going to join me here, and all of you at home too. If you've gotten up in the morning, getting your cup of coffee, and sit by your seat. You know, sit by your kitchen table or wherever you are. So with Qigong, Qi is energy, and in particular life energy. That's in Chinese. And so what we want to do then is just gently massage our hands back and forth, and that just warms our hands. So this is activating Qi. I'll keep my hands to myself. No, I won't. I won't warm your hands. So once it's warm, to reset ourselves, usually deep breathing is so important. And because you've done yoga, you understand this, And so you just place one palm on your belly button area and the other palm above. So there are proper ways of breathing, but today I'll just skip that and just use normal breathing. And later on, you know, when you feel great and you feel like joining me, us again live here, we live close enough, so you just let us know. Otherwise, as we said, you can always do it online, and we'll make sure we check in on you. So once you place it on the belly button, let's just breathe in gently.
All right.
And to reset, we're going to say ha ha, and then a very extended ha. So let's reset. And let's breathe in again. And reset. I usually like to do it 3 to 5 times, so let's do it another time. And again, the music that I'm using on plant choir is actually being generated by the plant, so we'll just use the pulse of the plant. So breathe in, and finally, so with each breath, we want to really start to calm ourselves, and especially for ourselves as having high pulses of energy, that will help to start to regulate, and ultimately in the long term, being able to use our mind to control our breathing in and whatever pain pulses that we feel. So the next one is we want to warm our dantian. So dantian is this area that's basically housed by the rib cage and slightly below the belly button. So we're just going to circle upwards and just take your time. And now gently breathe in. And now when you breathe out, make a ha sound, but and we want to relax the shoulders, relax the back, circling again to breathe in. And gently release, breathe out. Very, very good. So we're extinguishing the air. Now, with Qigong, Tai Chi is based on principles of yin-yang. Whatever happens in one way, we want to reverse the flow. So let's circle the other way. So breathe in. And now release, breathe out. And let's do 3 sets in total. Second set, breathe in. And breathe out. And at some point, we can close the eyes, yeah? So anytime you feel to do that, but just make sure you don't fall asleep or fall on the floor. Just kidding. So we'll circle to breathe in. And breathe out. Very, very good. Let's warm our hands again. So the area of the dantian in Chinese, Linda's husband was Chinese, so I'm sure you know all the Cantonese words. I don't know every word because I've lost so much of my Cantonese. So this is actually my journey in rediscovering my roots. So we warm our dantian again, and I just want to now trace the energy pathway of the legs. And so you place it again on your dantian. And now you just want to separate out the hands from the dantian. This is in particular called the lower dantian. And we just want to trace the outside of the leg. And I call this the yang channel of the leg. Anything that's outside of, let's say, our skin, our legs, our appendage. And when you cross over at the knees, flip over, and then massage the inside, which is the softer side, the yin side of the leg. Yeah? And let's reconnect back at the lower dantian. And so now we want to combine the breathing. So breathe in, separate out the hands, and gently massage the outside, breathing out. Crossing over on the inside, softer side, yin side, breathe in. And recombine back at the lower dantian, the root of a lot of energy and power, and wonderful breathing. I hear you purposely breathing, so that's great. And let's do a final set. Breathe in. And massaging the outside of the legs. Breathing out. And crisscrossing, massaging the inside of the leg. Breathe in. And reconnect. Now, Linda, if I went down to the calves, would you be able to do that? Yeah, you test yourself. Yeah,
I'll try.
If not, then stay at the knee or even the thigh level. I'm going to go down to the calf now. So separate out again. Breathe in. Breathe out. Just a little bit to the calf area, crossing over the channel of the shin, back on the inside, gently massaging. Continuing to breathe in and out. Very, very good. We'll just do 2 for that, yeah? And even after the taping, if you feel pain at any time, you want to reset yourself, so you can do it longer, but at least we've gone through that process, yeah? So let's do it again, yeah. Breathe in. And breathe out. To the knee or calf, gently rolling in. Breathe in. Breathe out. And reconnect back at the lower dantian, and let's circle, warming our dantian again. Now, this is the first time Linda's joining me. as we go through the stages, whether you're here with me or whether you're at home, we will continue to work the massage even down to the ankles, yeah? But we take it stage by stage because ultimately that's what we want to, you know, progressively improve, yeah?
Yeah.
So now I want you to separate out again, and we're going to head for the knees, and let's just gently massage the knees, breathing in. Gentle circular motions and breathing out. And you want to reverse the flow again. Breathe in. And breathing out. I'm only going to do 2. Now, I spoke to Linda earlier and she said primarily her back and her shoulders was sore. So we're going to use the same process to do that. But let's just continue with the knee again. Rolling the other way. Breathe in, massage.
This feels actually very good on my knee because of the damage I've done to the knee and pelvis
perfect.
area.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's amazing how, you know, just by activating one part of our connective tissues actually around the knees, that it actually helps to work other parts. So I'm glad you said that.
Yes, it burns all the time along here just because of the femur broken.
Right, yeah.
So it feels very good. Sorry, I didn't mean
no, that's perfect. Actually, this is great to get feedback. And this is one of the reasons I'm so happy that, you know, life brings life paths together, that Linda's life path is now intersecting with ours. So this is wonderful because our journey always is not only teaching but also learning from each other, and then that way we can help others, because pain is very unique. Just like we are unique individuals and our pulses and our energy is very unique, pain pulses are very, very unique and specific to individuals. But the tools that we'll find and the philosophy and the metaphors behind it, we can kind of tailor it. So that's, of course, with a lot of Buddhism philosophy. Not that I'm Buddhist, but I appreciate the different philosophical things. So since you mentioned that is helping, we can also go to one knee. And with one knee, you can generally massage again. Yeah, so sometimes one knee may be a little bit more sore than the others. What I like to do after I do the general massage on the outside is also slightly underneath.
I get very tight. Very tight.
Very good.
Scar tissue, and it's the IT band.
Okay. Well, this will help circulation. And Qigong and Tai Chi is all about circulation, whether it is through breath, through the mind, or through the physical circulation that we're doing with just loosening the muscles so the blood flows. So very, very good. I'm glad you mentioned that. Sometimes, you know, as practitioners, we say, you know, we think we'll help, but it's when it's reinforced by yourself or others, you know, that's really, really important. I also like to go slightly underneath, so the top of the calf area, because the most important thing is a pain may feel like it's emanating from a certain point, but everything is interconnected. And so we want to examine the interconnection. So sometimes it may actually be lower depending on other people, you know.
Very true. Referred pain, right? Pain,
right? Exactly.
Very true. It's very tricky.
It is.
It's coming from here.
That's right, but it may emanate from somewhere else. And let's flip to the other knee just to balance it out. So I'm doing the top again. And circular movement, so important and so fundamental in Qigong and Tai Chi. They're based on circles, but also spheres and spirals. So we'll do that a little bit more, So, and let's go down a little bit towards the top of the calf.
Help if I extend my leg?
In fact, if you need to I can use this. That you can put it on top too. Like it depends. If you can lift it, great. If not, that would actually help a lot. If you're watching TV, instead of clicking this.
It's very hard. The texture of this leg as opposed to this one is very hard under here. Very hard to rock.
Okay. Well, this is good then, because then you can tailor to see which one needs a little bit more. And ultimately, you want to do a balance, but the balance may be maybe 60% more this time around, and then over time, then you'll find it's ending up 50%. So test yourself and keep monitoring that.
That's good. That's great.
As you can tell, we're going to do an extended version of Dance Flow because it's so important, you know, that we have Linda here and she's sharing feedback and we're working together to tailor it to her case. Yeah. So let's finish off and let's bring it back on the center, back up to the lower dantian, and let's warm our hands again, activating Qi. So by rubbing the hands, it creates a warmth, it's a friction, of course, but Qi, any energy that you can generate. Next time we have to bring a cup of hot Chinese tea or hot chocolate. Oh, yes, I love hot chocolate. Yeah. Although the sugar might make this even more. And then we have to do more deep breathing. So with that in mind, we're now going to work the shoulders and the back. So I've asked Linda to monitor herself because we want to do it gently. So now that our hands is warm, why don't we do our left shoulder first? And usually what I like to do is I use the fingertips and I start off close to the neck. Yeah. But if you can reach further back, then you test yourself. And you might need 3 to 5 times or over a course of number of weeks or months to be able to reach back. But never force it because we want it to incrementally improve and adjust. Yeah.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Of course, it helps if you have someone massaging. Now, I don't know her well, otherwise I'm a massager. But I'll keep my hands to myself today.
I'm a masseuse. Do you want to, I have to share with the audience.
Oh, yes.
I started taking magnesium
and
for the muscles and the teeth and the bones. And my masseuse last week, she asked me how my magnesium regimen was going. And I said, very well. It's a liquid. And she said, well, your muscles aren't as tight this week.
Oh,
which is amazing.
So there you go. Maybe just by taking magnesium. Oh, that's a great tip. So maybe you want to share that if you know, or use that and test it out. Always check with your healthcare professional and practitioner. But you know, that is the wonderful thing with the internet and you know, our collective experience to be able to share what works for all of us.
Yeah, because the muscles, of course, in chronic pain, they get so tight, right? So I was very impressed.
It's amazing, and then we can also do a bit of our shoulders, and let's work our way down. And I generally like to do the forearm. So Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. Let's do this side. Let's balance it out. So So we'll do the side just gently. And you circle one way. And again, the deep breathing, very important. Breathe in and breathe out. Now let's release that for a moment. We'll warm our hands again. Now I'm going to back the camera, but Linda, you can stay looking at the camera. We're going to work our Ming Men, the gate of life, which is the back area. And again, you monitor yourself if you're able to do this. If not, then just gently. I'm going to put the back of the palm towards the small of my back, and then I'm just going to gently massage. So if it hurts a minute, then you let me know. Not enough that, you know, if it aggravates it, but basically this whole area also can hold a lot of energy that's tight. So you want to gently massage. And this is where your massage therapist will probably help, but you might want to test if you can do it yourself.
Oh, yes, because there's times where this is just so unbearable.
Oh,
Just
walk the back, right?
It likes to talk back a lot.
Oh,
that's what I say. Talk back.
Now we'll shut it up. But this is called the gate of life, the Ming Men. And it's interesting you say that because the back can house a lot of pain and tension and everything. So just by loosening the back. The other thing you can do is, if you know, to break this off, is just gentle shoulder rolls backwards, and that will increase circulation as well. And then you want to reverse the channel of the flow, circling it forward. And again, you want to bring in the breathing. So breathe in, and gently release. Breathe out, and circle the other way again. Breathe in. And breathe out.
It's so calming to your body and your mind. The breathing and
the breathing. That's right, and that's the pulses that you know. Linda has been doing, of course, yoga, and she's very active in doing that. But it is the power of the mind to be able to manipulate energy and thoughts,
Yes.
and how it translates physically, emotionally, mentally, is something that that people should discover. So
Yes.
you've obviously, you're probably more attuned and sensitive to changes in your body. So
yes.
that's great to be able to do that.
Yes, and again, once again, my I'll call her my teacher. She's actually my physiotherapist out west, right? Debbie.
Yeah.
She's amazing. The teacher she is teaching
Wonderful.
me, how
Yes.
biophysical
Yes.
and whatever.
Exactly.
It all affects
Yeah, I've asked Linda to share with me her. What is her name?
It's Debbie Patterson.
Debbie
She's
Patterson from Alberta, yeah. And she does this all online, just like we're doing. So so wonderful that a lot of us can now share the information out there and to use the internet, where it's so difficult in the past. You had to be at a physical location, but how the guidance,
Yeah, and if you're physically disabled,
that's
which
right.
I am, traveling, the travel time back and forth to any therapy is exhausting.
It can be,
so
for sure.
I'm very blessed to have everybody coming to my home to help me, because that drains you of your energy, right?
It does. It
and
does.
So pacing is huge.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Debbie's help, the knowledge that she's had in pain management is just astronomical.
Wonderful.
So she's teaching me. For instance, I would love to go for an hour walk. I like to lose the weight I've put on and build my muscle again from this accident, right?
Right.
But but she says, you can't go for an hour.
No, exactly.
20 minutes at the most. It started out at 18 minutes walk.
Wow.
And I had to time it. And the thing was, I had to train my brain to, I had to stop this pain signal that was constantly going to my body from my brain. My brain thought that I had an acute injury, so it was always sending me pain. And then you have anti-inflammatory hormones that kick in, so your body starts to get inflammation. So then there's more pain. So your brain sends hormones, inflammation starts, and pain. So it's a vicious circle. So all that pain doesn't stop. So she's teaching me that if I go, say, for an 18-minute walk, what's my pain level at? Well, it was at a 10. My hip, my back, everything was on fire. And I'm thinking, okay, but I'm thinking if I go for an hour, it's gonna quit.
No,
right?
That's not.
You're right. No, that's right.
You have to monitor.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
And so then after the 18 minutes, she asked me, how's the pain? And I said, what's amazing, it started to be reduced. It shocked me.
And sometimes more does not mean better.
Correct.
It's finding the right amount, which you've obviously found. So that's great. Or you've discovered that more is not necessarily.
Yes, right, because that's how I grew up, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Work harder, do more.
That's right.
So it's a philosophy you carry in
life. It's that balance.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's still very important, to have that willpower to do that.
But
sometimes we have to pull back a little bit, the yin side, because that's that balance. You can't always have the yang side that tells you do more and more. You have to balance that equal side, the quiet side. So that's so important.
And it is hard when you're a person with higher energy. You want to
totally
just
and
your body's saying, and my body is saying, no, you're not doing that anymore. I'm sorry, you broke everything, you ripped everything apart. I mean, you got more places than you want to count in your body, so forget it. So now half an hour, and it's exciting.
That's
and
exciting.
I'm worked up to walking poles
Yeah.
for 1 minute.
Oh, that
1
is
minute.
awesome.
So you
That's
see,
awesome.
You see, I would think, oh, good, I can go 20 minutes off my
Yeah.
walking poles. No,
No.
my brain now needs to understand 1 minute is safe, because
Yes.
it's safety. Your brain is trying to understand
That's
it's
right.
safe activity.
That's right.
So I went 18 minutes on my walker,
Yeah.
and then my brain saw that, okay, I started out at a 10 pain score,
Yes.
that it dropped. So now my brain is saying that's a safer activity.
Yes,
I can
that's
do
right.
that.
That's right.
And so it's very hard for me to hold
Yeah.
back. But of course I did it because I'm wanting to learn. I'm
Yes,
part of the
exactly,
learn. Like I love
exactly.
learning.
Yeah,
And
I think
so
that's key, and that's a message Beverly and I are getting out there, which is when you're learning a new skill, new activity like this, and let's do some spine breathing. I think this will also help your back.
Okay.
So with spine breathing, you basically place your hands comfortably around your ear level.
Okay.
So you want to curl your back. So you want to breathe out and soften everything. Now you want to breathe in, but still keep your hands soft and breathe in and look up gently. So again, you want to breathe out. Curl. Energy is stored. It's quiet. And now you want to breathe in, receiving the active energy. And now you want to release it. Breathe out. And we all naturally do this when we're under, when we're anxious. We need this. Now we're harnessing this, yeah, and using it in a powerful way, yeah. Now breathe in again. And at some point, Linda, you may feel tingling on the fingertips. So
yes,
it's
I do.
Oh, good, good. So you felt it faster than most.
Yes, I do.
It took me 5 months, and she only did it in 2 breaths. That means I was very stressed before I did this. Let's do it again, yeah? Or it also means you're very attuned. Your mental, your thoughts to, your nerve endings and the travel. So let's do it 2 more times.
To be like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Breathe out.
It's very good like this.
And once more, breathe in. And final breath. Breathe out, curl your back gently. And breathe in. I'm feeling the tingling. And that is energy being expressed from your thoughts. It's traveling and you being very sensitive through your nerve endings.
Yes.
And the energy that you feel coming out of the tingling,
yes.
they're vibrational spirals.
You can feel that.
Yeah.
You can feel that.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's exactly what we want to help others to achieve, and you're achieving that. Yeah.
You know what else I noticed? I have constant like this natter in my shoulders and my scapula. The scapula is at your shoulder area and it travels down my hip and everything.
Right.
And down this area and it goes across my chest.
Right.
And there's all those nerve endings.
Yes.
Right. And I noticed breathing while I'm doing that. They aren't as irritated. They're not back talking and saying to me, listen to me, listen to me. Because they're always wanting. Pain is very jealous. It is a very jealous entity. It wants your attention constantly.
You're right. You're right.
It does. Yeah. It's very jealous. So you have to be ignorant.
And just like anything that always wants your attention, it's how you speak back to that energy that you are managing that. Okay, you want attention, I'll give you attention, but on my terms. Right? And so using the breath and using your mind, say, okay, I know you're always going to be there with me. Like you said, pain will always be with someone who has chronic pain, but also not only chronic pain, but if you're anxious or you go through depression and all of that, it will always stay with you. But in learning how to manage it, then you coexist. And that is the coexisting pulse that we're trying to achieve with what we're doing here with Qigong and making you more sensitive to using breath through movement and ultimately your mind. And we, some of our students who have been with us for many, many terms and ultimately, going into our 2nd or 3rd year now into the program, I'm now taking them into the mind journey because with you we'll probably accelerate it. And then for anyone else who feels it, because using the physical movements that we are doing here, and we'll go through more shortly, at some point we want to transfer that and focus the energy through the spine and the crown of the head and take that flow. And that's where the next time I see you or whether online or here, I'll talk about the proper way of breathing, which is we close the tongue on the top upper palate. There's internal loops that is behind the philosophy of Qigong, and I'll talk more about that in the future.
Awesome.
Excellent. So we're going to put some music on. We're soon going to move into some dancing. I don't generally do dancing in our online version because Linda's here and she told us that she puts great music, and of course Linda's faith is Christian, but Christian music is so wonderful. I used to love listening also to gospel music because it's like so great. But inspirational music that you connect with is so very important because music also has a pulse. The original artists and the group of artists that created the pulse, they're bringing their energy into the creation of the piece. And we connect with that because our vibrational frequency matches. So,
I was listening. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but I was just listening. I was feeling something the other night. I had my music on, and I could feel this thing vibrating to the beat of my music. And I just thought, well, that's of course how deaf people will hear music,
Yes, you're right. You're right.
I just thought it was so neat. I thought, thanks God, that I got to feel that.
And thanks also that you can interpret the information, because some people will feel it, but you can interpret what that means. Not everybody can put it all together that this is what is happening. So good for you to do that.
It was neat.
And it's funny because Beverly and I have had over the years, you know, we come from competitive ballroom dancing, so we teach students to dance proper ballroom salsa Latin, which we will do shortly.
Yes, I have approval.
Oh, yeah.
So
We'll start gently with rumba and maybe a little bit of merengue today. But this is what we found. One or two of our students is almost legally deaf, while their spouse, the wife, can hear. But the student who is deaf has great rhythm. And meanwhile, the spouse cannot, for the life of them, find the pulse of the music. And it's exactly what you say. It's feeling the vibrations. And so you may not hear the sound, but you might be able to feel the pulses, and whichever way, whether it's through an assisted device, such as, the plant choir, which I'm using here, is an assisted device to help the pulse of electrical energy and flow. But then, some people who are deaf, they find different sensory organs that can take in the same information but reinterpret. So I'm so glad you said that.
Yes, it's amazing. No, but I was very excited when I got permission and approval to do the dance.
Lovely,
Because you have, I need my muscles stronger so I can function in the daily activities of living.
Yes,
and we all do who have chronic pain and have experienced injuries like myself.
Yes.
And been wheelchair bound, and now you're able to walk. And I still have a walker I use. It's important because I can't afford to fall down anymore.
For sure.
And but this is going to be a new experience.
And also, today we've done the seated form, but as we go through, we're going to do some standing forms. Of course, we're going to dance today too, but the standing form, I'm just going to put some short music and start some of the standing forms. And you monitor yourself. You can remain seated or you can join me standing, but I'm going to start to stand. And this section, we're not going to talk. We're just going to free flow and we're just going to look or feel the music. We're still on inspirational music, so don't fall asleep. No, I'm kidding.
No, it's beautiful.
But thanks to the plant choir for this cool music that is pulsing, and that was for the first section. But now I'm going to use recorded music. I love Andrea Bocelli, so I'll put them on for this section. So let's put this on. We went to a Mediterranean cruise last year to celebrate our 25th wedding anniversary. So anytime I hear Italian music, and especially Andrea, it takes me back. And that's the power of the mind, to take ourselves into a different location and place.
It's true. When we moved here, is in November, we went to Alaska, and then we moved this year.
That's on our bucket list. Well, maybe mine. I don't know if the family wants Alaska yet, but we'll see.
We wanted to be training, but my husband lived long enough for that. But anyway, so the same thing. Every time I looked up the ice, I thought of being on the ship and all the ice in Alaska.
I would love to do that. So, did you see whales and dolphins and stuff?
That was the only dolphins to know whales.
Oh, well, at least you saw dolphins.
Yeah, they love to swim along these big
that is so cool. I'd love to do that one day. All right, we'll save that. Maybe we can all do it together. We'll go on a cruise.
That would be nice, eh?
All right, this one is just free flow. I'm going to stand up, and you can remain seated, or anytime you can stand up and join me. And I'll just move this back. These are some of the basic movements that once we warmed up everything else, which we did, we put our hands out gently at the side. And I'll just turn Robert and Beverly down a little bit. That's what we named this plant, Robert and Beverly.
Of course, do you notice the type it is? It's an Asian, it's a little jade.
The jade plant,
so
which is a lot of luck, health, and, as you know, prosperity. So,
actually, I have my symbols on my door.
Oh, wonderful. Excellent. So we're going to breathe out. And we're going to imagine ourselves and our dantian as the tree trunk. And I want you to curl your toes inside your socks or your shoes. That's grounded to the floor, the root. And the hands are going up and down gently. You don't need big movements. And these are like branches of a tree that's ebbing and flowing and breathes. So let's go to Italy. Breathe in. Breathe out. And it's a warm day out on the beach. Breathe out. And in Italy, there's so many mountaintops looking down at the ocean. So breathe in, breathe out. And if you put yourself in that state, if you sense any tingling of your fingertips, that's good. Yeah. If you don't, no worries, you'll develop that. Yeah. Breathe in. Hands are like branches. The fingers are like leaves. They're ebbing and flowing. Final set. Breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. Now we're going to do a gentle circle. Circle upwards, breathe in, and close the palms so it's roughly at your face level. The face level is called the upper dantian. Yeah? So now we're going to bring the arms down, breathe out. And we're going to send it back up, breathe in, still at face level. Now we're going to open a little window, and we're going to open the loop of the circle to breathe out. And circle up to breathe in. And closing the loop to close. And breathe out. Hands going down. Breathe in. Hands going up. Holding your breath, opening the window and circling down. Breathe out. And now keep your hands slightly open. So we're going to send it upwards. Breathe in. Rotating, this is called the middle dantian at the heart level. Breathe in some more. Now you test yourself if you can do this. We're going to go up a little higher, and just above the crown of the head, we're going to circle. And then we're going to send the pulse of energy downwards again. Breathe out. Then towards the thighs. Gentle circle to breathe in. And breathe in some more. Rotate. Breathe out. Hands just above the crown of the head. Circle the crown of the head. So keep all the energy mostly contained within your body. Breathe out. And hold. And final circle. This is circling the grounding energy. Energy at the ground. Taking it up through your body to breathe in. Rotating around the middle dantian, the small of your back. Breathe in some more. And eventually what we want to do is channel that energy up through the spine, releasing it from the crown of the head. So circle above the crown of the head as if the energy is released upward from the spine. And now send it back down. Breathe out. Good. Yeah. Later on, the movements will get bigger and bigger, but we want to start off small. And not only can the movements get bigger and bigger, we want to be able to channel that energy, whether it's big or small. So we don't always want to do big, always want to do small, but we want to work our way so that we fundamentally change ourselves in the way we can channel the energy.
It feels very soothing and very relaxing.
Yeah.
Soothing,
It's very soothing.
Very soothing for the body.
And the feeling is so important because the feelings tell you you're on the right track.
Yes.
And also, and centered. Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah, since some of that pain, sometimes your pain just goes out of your body.
Yes.
But at least to bring it in is a huge step.
And that's what I'm working on right now is coming from dance, which is really moving to music ultimately. Whether you know proper steps or not, you're moving to music.
Yes.
Music has distinct signatures. So this piece of music again, and I do music rhythm usually on 1020s on YouTube. But every artist, every composer has pulses of music. So this one, you might as well pulse with me. So pulse with me is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the pulse of this piece of music. Now you and I, because we are more, let's say on a higher pulse, tend to go like this, but we're able to manipulate and be able to receive that pulse. And then what our mind is able to do is organizing the pulse of music. And because we're going to do rumba soon, I'm going to guide you through understanding how to manipulate pulses. So now this is that pulse unique to this artist or the composer and to the orchestra that's playing. The violins, I love violins. I know I love a piece of music when my spine tingles and I get little goosebumps. This one gives me goosebumps.
That's beautiful.
So that pulse. Now we're going to use our minds to arrange the pulses. Now I'm going to arrange it in groups of 3. So here we go. So we go 1, 2, 3, and hold. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, release. 1, 2, release. So now we're manipulating the pulse, but it's based on what we want to do with the pulse. But that ebbing, no, you keep doing the 1, 2, 3s, okay? But the underlying pulse I'm going to do is still there. Yeah? But she's manipulated the pulse, even though the underlying pulse is still blinking as I'm doing it. Yeah? And that is the power of our mind, and that is unique to us as human beings, that we can manipulate energy around us. And this is just one expression of that, right?
Wow.
That,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Oh, that is just so,
Yeah.
again, centering a calming, but beautiful.
Exactly.
It just is
Yes.
something for your body.
It
just
is,
goes into the
yeah.
body, right?
And the empowerment that you hopefully will find, that the music you enjoy, and we're soon going to pulse faster, but that you have the power then with your pain, the same thing. Pain pulses a certain way.
Yes, it does.
When we think internally we have anxiety and depression, we pulse a certain way, and sometimes the pulse is numbing. It just goes, sometimes it's sharp. And it's being able to then listen to that pulse and figure out what that pulse is, and then using breath, and our thoughts to say, okay, how can I rearrange the pulse so I'm manipulating and coexisting with the pulse? And so I think that is a general philosophy that you can take with yourself.
Absolutely.
And as we continue to develop together, that we can share with others and help others. It'd be so cool one day if you could train and help me train others to do this.
It would be very, you know, because as you're saying about changing and controlling, that's changing, controlling the pulse of that pain.
Exactly.
That my pain has a.
That's exactly right. Yes.
And you don't, and it's exhausting.
It is. It is.
So you need to
do
it to do it even
yes,
just like that.
That's right.
It's more peaceful to the body, right? It's much
and
more
the pain pulse that you're feeling, right? It's emanating from you. It's pulsing. First, it's learning how to understand that pulse. But when you bring in yourself into the pain pulse, it's actually two things happening. It's your thoughts with that pulse. Okay. And what I'd like you to eventually do is to understand we're manipulating then the pain with us to form waves. And so the pulse may go like this, but when you come in, you match the pulse, and then at some point you delay the pulse, and suddenly you change the way the pulse is, and it becomes a partnership with the pain. And so you will find that initially you have to match the pain because that's all you've been used to. So, oh my God, it's jabbing, it's jabbing. Then you organize in groups of threes, 1, 2, 3, and hold. One. And then suddenly you'll find that whatever was happening here starts to flow with your thought. And at some point you'll be able to channel this beautiful ebb and flow wave energy. And so when the pulse is like this, you follow the pulse, and then you'll start to manipulate the pulse, and ultimately it'll be this partnership in dance that flows between you and your pain.
That's beautiful, just like what you were showing me to do with you.
Yes,
right?
exactly. It happens all the time. You're right. When you have a teacher, and for now you're the student, but at some point you will be the teacher, and I'll be the student. Actually, we're both co-teachers and students. I think that's the philosophy behind this. So usually when one teaches a skill, the students try to match, but at some point you gain the experience, and then at that point you become equals in this whole beautiful bouncing and dance of life, this energy of life. So I'm so happy that we say that. Okay, that's enough of the flow. Now let's get dancing. Because dancing releases fun energy, right? And that's a joy. And that's why a lot of our students also say, oh, every time I don't feel good, but why is it that I come to classes and I feel so great?
That's awesome.
And that's partly, I think we each have a true calling and a mission. So ours is always to help others, but also to bring people like us and like you, Linda, who want to share and who have, these beautiful pulses of energy that we can share out into the world. So.
And we feed each other like in a good way, though, right?
In a good way. That's exactly it. It's a dance.
Okay. I would say punch, but I don't want to punch.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, partnerships sometimes punch. You can ask Belly how many times she's wanted to punch me. No, I'm kidding. No, we don't condone violence. I'm sorry.
So, yeah.
All right, so let's work on some rumbas, and then let's close it out with a little bit of merengue, just to have some fun. Now, Linda does belly dancing.
Yes. Oh, I must tell you though,
Sure,
remember, right now as we were dancing, my one leg is shorter, so.
Oh,
it's
yes.
I don't have.
Next time we can bring your shoes in, and then we can do that.
Just to let you know.
Yeah.
So it might be a little bit.
We'll use the chair too for this
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna put some rumba on. That groups of threes that I talked about, right?
Yes.
In different cultures, you can actually tie it to a particular culture. So rumba organizes beats in groups of threes. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do a typical, let's see if I can find a rumba piece of music here. Oh, I love this song. It's Bésame Mucho. But this is not the version I was thinking of. Andre Bocelli does a beautiful version of Bésame Mucho. This is more authentic rumba. So you already hear the Latin rhythms.
Yes, I do. Is it Latin?
It is Latin, yeah, Cuban.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this one you can hear it more. This is Nat King Cole. I'll put this one on because I think you can hear this more. All right. I hope you can hear it. It's not connecting to my Wi-Fi. All right, so let's put the chair side to side like this. I'll help you there. And you can just hold on to the chair back here. So I'm just going to roll the hip. So you put your weight on your left foot and just lift your right heel up. Yeah? And I'll go a little bit more. Oh, actually, we can't see. There you go. You're good. Okay. So now I just want you to roll the hip up, and so it's a little circle up, and so breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, and out. Now the pulses of threes. I just want you to go 1 and 2 and slow 3 and 1 and 2 and slow 3. Last set. 1 and 2 and slow 3. Good. Let's switch to the opposite. Yeah. So with that, we're going to go in and up and out. So 1 and 2 and slow. Good. And 1 and 2 and 3. And again. Up and over, up and over, up and over and slow. Final set. 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah? Out of this little mini exercise, we start to get figure 8s. And I'll just do it a little bit in front of you. And again, monitor your back, okay? So the figure 8 essentially goes, I'll do a flex version. All right? So you go a little bit diagonal, then you want to roll back, then you go a little bit diagonal, then you want to roll back. So diagonal, clear back, diagonal, clear back. Another time. 1, 2, 3, and hold. And 1, 2, 3, and hold. And 1, 2, 3, and hold. Last set. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And over the number of weeks, we'll continue to develop. You already look very sexy doing that. When you do belly dancing, you can probably add more of the figure 8s, yeah? But we can take that figure 8. I'll just back and you stay where you are. So let's say you put your weight on your left foot. In dancing, especially salsa, Latin, rumba, the ladies usually go back on the right foot, but we're just going to march on the spot, okay? So with your weight on the left, and now I'll back the camera, so for others who want to do that, we're just going to march on the spot. All right. Let's pulse with the rumba rhythm first. No groups of threes yet. All right. So we go 1, 2, 1, 2, and all we're doing is shifting weights. That's it. 1 and 2. And actually, your shorter leg will really help make the other hip look sexy. It does. So that doesn't mean the rumba dancers you should go chop off your leg, but you turn something into an advantage, right? So this is going to help create more sensual hip movements for you, Linda. All right. So now the groups of threes. Okay. So here we go. So we go 1, 2, 3, and hold. Then 1, 2, 3, and hold. So we're manipulating the rhythm now with the step. 2, 3, and hold. Very good. 1, 2, 3. That's a basic pulse of the rumba. Now, don't do this today, but next time when we see you or
Yes.
when you're online,
Yes.
this basic pulse on the spot, we actually move that energy backwards and forwards. We can also shift it sideways. Yeah. So now we manipulate that pulse in space and with steps. And later on, you'll be able to add hands because of the flexibility from Qigong that we'll build. And the figure eight will start to make sense. I have to do more work on the figure eights, but you have because of your leg issue, actually, you'll probably be able to feel the figure eight even more than most people. Yeah.
Yes.
And if you do practice at home with the figure eight, I usually say, think of it more as an up and over, up and over, up and over. Yeah, a lot of people when they first learn figure eights, they do it like very parallel to the floor, and it's very harsh. But if you do an up and over, you get this beautiful spiral, this figure eight that goes beautiful. Yes.
Oh,
And finally, soften your shoulders. Look up and look at my hair. So when you do figure eights, yeah, and that starts to build your core or reinforce because you're building your core, and it makes you look more confident, but ultimately feel more confident. And it's also building your back muscles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Which is very, very important.
See that this is this right hip
Yeah.
because the legs short.
Right.
The
Yes.
muscles have
Yeah.
muscles are right. This one they don't.
Yes, that's right.
So I have to cheat with my toes.
Which is fine.
That's how it gets stronger,
That's
right?
right. That's right. Very good.
Because I can notice it doesn't engage.
Okay. Perfect.
But it will.
Yeah.
I have
So
faith.
that's the rumba, and this is just a teaser today. And then to close it out, because this is your true energy, the merengue. This is also more my energy too. I love quick step when I do dances like this. So let's close it out with a bit of merengue. And merengue, let's find the merengue pulse, okay? Now merengue, I hope people can hear this. It's not tied into.
See my knee. Yeah, you're right. Because see this knee bends right.
More,
because,
right?
Yeah, you can see.
Yeah.
Because
That's going to be a great advantage in Latin because we actually want. So you can do, and no one will be able to tell because your leg will just look fabulous when you start to do that. And in fact, that's what we're going to do in merengue, and that'll work your joints even more. But be careful, don't overdo this. Don't overdo this, okay? So let's put your weight on the left foot. Now the merengue beat is faster, and I'm going to pulse with it. Okay? Actually, let's blink first.
Okay.
Blink, 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 blink. That's the pulse. But we're not going to organize it in groups of threes. We're going to use this distinct pulse. We're going to organize in groups of 8. And it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah? And now we're going to match the steps. So put the weight on the left.
All right.
Now I'm going to do a slow version first and then work our way up. Okay? So the group of 8s we'll use like this. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, repeat. 1, 2, 3. And all I'm doing is lifting the heels, yeah? But you let the hips and knees do what it needs to do. And this is a great advantage of your knees now. One leg is shorter. You'll be able to alternate 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And notice I'm just rotating a little bit.
Yes, I noticed that.
And 5 and 6 and 7. Now the true merengue beat, if you can, you monitor yourself, don't overdo it, okay? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all I'm doing is lifting the heels. I'm not really doing a lot, yeah? But I'm pulsing the music and it's rotating a little bit and I'm just picking up the heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, repeat. Yeah? So more merengue later on, yeah? And then we can do all of this. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. And yeah, you take care and make sure that even we generally do a cool down. And in fact, because you've been so good, we should just do a very, very quick cool down. Yeah?
Okay,
So let's sit back on the chair.
Thank
you. Because the dancing also helps with cardio.
Yes,
and
it does.
It's so important to that. And you are very active, even though you're going through, been going through pain and that.
I work hard because I've been working really hard. It's been 7 years.
Oh,
and
wow. It's been a long journey, hasn't it?
Yeah. Doing the dancing that, my whole, you can just feel the thickness here, but it'll help. All of this.
Yeah,
help, right?
yeah. And again, you know, the more you learn, the more you'll also learn how much to do and how little to, and to pace yourself.
Yes.
And it's exactly what your, you know, your team told you.
Yes.
Don't go full blast 100%.
That's right.
It's new things that you're learning.
Yes.
Take it incrementally.
Yes,
you know?
yes, because I only have a time limit. Like I'm going to be starting the dance.
Oh yes, you're coming
Saturday.
into our studio
Yes,
on Thursday, right?
Yes, so
oh, that's
I'm
going to be so
I know,
exciting.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they've only given me a little bit of time.
No, but
right?
still,
As
you
long
know.
as that's
Yeah,
right?
and again at our class,
Mhm.
there'll be a cross range of people,
Yeah.
but you monitor yourself because we always
Yes.
tell our other students, and now hopefully, not hopefully, I'm going to share with our other students who also
Yes.
suffer from chronic pain,
Oh,
and they'll get to know you,
beautiful.
and this is where you can share your experiences because we've had some who have recently also been in an accident.
Aw.
So that's where your
wonderful.
knowledge and your, you know,
Oh, that's
your
so
information
good.
will so help them.
That's
yeah.
so
All right, I'm putting back the plant.
good.
We're going to use the pentatonic scale. And let's go back to some breathing again. Let's warm our hands to cool down. Yeah. Breathe in. Oh, Robert and Beverly is being quiet. I think they've had enough.
Beverly is trying to
Yeah.
get Robert going, eh?
All right, we'll warm our hands and let's just gently free flow now. Breathe out. Breathe in. And relax, breathe out. Slow, gentle movements. Be rooted in your chair. Curl your toes inside your socks. Be soft on the shoulders. The pulse is happening. You're matching the pulse. Breathe in. And breathe out. And let's do some spine breathing. And curl your back. Breathe out. Breathe in, open up, look up a bit. And breathe out. Breathe in. And release, breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And placing your palms together. I usually like closing this. This is dragon flying to the sun and the moon. It's just a wave that falls down to breathe out. And the wave goes back up, breathe in, and breathe out, breathe in. And now we free the dragon to fly, just floating, and we send the dragon energy to our neck, breathe out. And in martial arts, you'll always see this. We close a fist. Fist represents strength. And you always see a curvature of the left side represents humbleness. So let's breathe out. Let our spine relax. And now release. And breathe out. Thank you so much, Linda.
Oh,
that was a fabulous
you.
morning to
Thank
spend with you.
It was
Yeah.
awesome. I
And
enjoyed it.
really thank you for being here.
It's
And
wonderful.
hopefully this will have tape. I know we have just talked for an hour for ourselves, but it looks like some people have been online. Oh, wonderful. Oh, they've been saying hello and they've been sharing. Oh,
That's
see?
awesome.
It's so wonderful. It's like this jade plant that you talked about earlier. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the jade plant is a symbol of luck in Eastern philosophy, but also a jade plant can self-propagate.
Yes,
And from
that's right.
this initial plant, we have a gift for you.
Aw.
And
Oh, that's
this
so beautiful.
plant is from here. It's propagating.
Aw.
I do on Saturdays to help people in business,
Yeah.
artists in particular, because a lot of artists, they love art,
Me
but
too.
not necessarily feel that they like business.
Okay.
But I'm using a different approach for business. But we can take, I call this a vision tree. So
Oh,
the vision
lovely.
plant, a vision tree, you can call it. So we want to present this to you.
Oh, thank
So
you.
I'll take it home for you, or we can leave it
Thank
here the
you.
next time you join in. This will be
So
your
lovely.
plant, and we'll call it Linda. Beverly, Robert, and now Linda. And then we'll plug some electrodes into Linda and see what her vibrational sound and music is. But yeah, it is a little bit heavy,
Oh,
but
that's
you know, I
so
can help
lovely.
you.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so beautiful.
Yeah,
Thank
so no
you.
problem
That's
at
so
all.
beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. So
that.
thank you so much.
That
for
is just
coming.
my kind of thing. I have a plant at home in one of
Oh,
these.
great. And you said you have jade plants too, right? You said?
I
Or
did.
you have,
I had a big one.
oh,
A
yeah.
very big one. It was beautiful.
Oh,
the jades
yes.
are lovely. No, I
Yeah.
have, you said like a longevity.
Oh, yes,
and,
yes.
I have 2 Chinese
Oh,
characters
excellent.
inside my home.
Wonderful,
And,
wonderful.
you know, beautiful
Yeah.
lily pads.
Chinese
Yes.
characters are
Yeah.
so amazing. They're
They
based on
are.
pictures and
Yes,
pictograms,
yes,
right?
they're really
So,
unique. Yeah.
so, oh, we should add some
Completely.
to here.
Yeah, that's funny, right? Oh, that's so
No problem at all. Yeah.
That's so
I'm going to
lovely.
wait Beverly up to say a final send off. Beverly, are you
Waking
there?
her up, isn't he nice, eh? Ugh,
Where
It's
are
so
you?
nice and sunny out here. It's so beautiful.
She actually wasn't in the bedroom.
Isn't that nice?
So, yeah, we just presented this gift to
That is so nice.
Linda, and we are calling it Linda.
That's so sweet. I
Yeah,
love it. I
and
so love
it's
it.
symbolic for us too because of the glass bowl, the symbol of roundness and circles and spheres.
That's why I like that.
But also the fact that everything, like we really appreciate gifts, that we have so many wonderful gifts from students too,
Aw.
and some plants from students. So so that's Doris. That's a gift from Doris. Oh, Robert and Beverly's reactivated themselves. Yeah.
It's happy.
Actually, let's see what Linda
Yes,
sounds
let's
like.
see.
Let's see what Linda sounds like.
Do you know? Yeah, I was telling Robert I have a plant
Oh,
in
yes.
a big bowl like that.
Oh,
It's-
perfect.
I should see if it will probably.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the most unique thing you've ever seen.
There's Linda making her own vibrational music. Wow, that's really strong.
That is different.
Wow. Yeah, each plant has a unique signature. And even though this has come from the original, it will have its own vibration and its own sound.
I
So
have to get one of those.
and the good news is it can stay in forever. Like we've had this for like at least 6 years, I think. And it's still, propagating
cylinder.
itself.
I
Yeah.
love that.
It's that beautiful spiral, in mathematics,
pipe
these
organ.
propagate. Pipe organ.
Pipe
Yeah.
organ jade.
Wow.
Oh, this is really powerful.
It is powerful.
Yeah.
That's
It's
exciting.
found its right owner.
Aw, thank you.
Oh, that's
Oh,
great.
that's beautiful.
Well, thank you very much,
Thank you,
everyone,
thank
for
you
joining
very
us, and
much.
thank you again to
Thank
Linda
you.
and of
for
course
having me.
Beverly.
That's
And
awesome.
it's so wonderful. And this is the joy for Beverly and myself. We always bounce off other people's energy because we have that harmony, and
Yes.
your energy is so wonderful, and you can see how we can magnify.
Yes,
each other, right?
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
So it's
Yes, well, Beverly and I were talking, and
Yeah.
we were talking and talking and talking.
Yeah.
Just as we could go on.
That's right. That's
And
right.
We could
Yeah.
just go on for
This is my phone. This is my phone.
We could literally just go on
Yeah,
forever. So
yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
but we knew that there
Yeah.
has to be a start and stop time.
That's right. Yeah, it's the ebb and flow of life
Yes,
and
yes.
of days. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
awesome.
So thank you very much again, everyone.
Thank
Thank you
you,
again,
thank
Linda.
you.
Take
Thank
take
you so
care,
much.
everyone.
Yeah, that is so sweet. You know, like I said, I have actually.